Hello people! So today's video is going to be a full face using makeup that I think is so underrated and is really good. So these aren't necessarily brands that are underrated, like most of the brands that I'm using today are well-known brands that everyone will have heard of. So this is literally just about the products individually. I feel like I don't hear enough people talking about the stuff that I wanted to share and show you today. So these are just stuff that I found and I think are really underrated and that I haven't heard people talk about. You might find some of these stuff and be like, yeah, no, this person talks about this a lot. It's not underrated, but to me, these are underrated and there's some absolute gems and I wanted to share them. So this is the makeup look, obviously, that I created with all the underrated stuff. So if you would like to see how this makeup look happened, then be sure to give the video a thumbs up and just keep watching. Apologies first of all because I have already done my eyebrows because I only use one product now. I don't have like a load of different eyebrow products. So yeah, so I've already done my brows, but a good alternative for the Brow Wiz is the NYX brow pencil. I find that the Anastasia ones last so much more longer than the NYX ones. I feel like they were running out after like 3 weeks of using it, which ain't good. Like I've had my Anastasia one for I'd say 2 months at least now, and obviously I've not run out of it, so. But something that I do think is quite underrated, which is a brow gel that I've heard nobody talk about, is the Rimmel Brow This Way Clear Brow Gel. This is so affordable and you know what, it's not, I don't think it's the best brow gel you can get out there. I haven't tried that many, but it, you know what, it does the job and it keeps everything in place. I mean, I feel like every day, you know, when you just need your brows to just stay stuck down, then I think there's no issues with it or anything. For eyeshadows, I wanted to talk about 2 different palettes. I'm only going to be using one in today's video, but the first one that I think is so underrated, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in like my eyeshadow palette like declutter video. It's this one. This is the wamr Caramel Melange eyeshadow palette, and I think it's so underrated. Like, first of all, look at the tones. If you are someone that is like me that loves really warm tones, this is such a good palette for you. And the formula is really good. I feel like the formula of these eyeshadows probably remind me of the Colourpop single shadows and the Makeup Geek eyeshadows as well. The formula is really soft and creamy. They are quite pigmented, to be fair. And yeah, even the shimmers are literally incredible. Like, look, I've got a clean finger and just one swipe. Can we? They are just so good. And yeah, I feel like nobody talks about Zoeva, and I don't know why. Their brushes are also amazing. The one I'm going to be using today is the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Neutrals 2 palette. I have talked about this before on my channel and I have said that I think it is really underrated. Haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this. And I don't know, I feel like they've got a lot more newer palettes than this, but this one has always stuck out to me and it's always been one of my favourites. It's just kind of one of my favourite palettes ever. If I had to have like a top 10, this would definitely be in there. The formula is really good. I feel like tiny bit hit and miss with some of the shadows. Like, I feel like maybe 2 or 3 in the palette, they're a bit chalky and a bit dry. The rest are just really good, especially the mattes. I do prefer the mattes a lot more than the shimmers, honestly. Of like either Fix Plus or just like a setting spray just to kind of spray on top of the shimmers, you're good to go. I mean, look at that. Like, I barely had anything on my brush. I mean, it might be the peopleeee base, to be fair, but to be fair, I've used this palette before and the pigmentation is really good. So I'm gonna take this light pink shade and just use this to blend out the edges. I'm gonna keep going in with this colour. Colours that aren't that pigmented, but I just use it as like a kind of shade softener, so I don't really mind. Shush. I'm gonna take this shade here for the brow bone. Go back in with the first shade that I took, which was this one. And I'm just going to build up that colour a bit more. I'm going to take this dark kind of berry shade and I'm going to really concentrate this in the outer corner of the eye. It's concealer time. Just take any concealer. Use my Jouer concealer because I'm not going to use the concealer that I'm actually going to use on my face. I've never used that for a cut crease, so I'm just going to use my Jouer one because I know it works. Just all over the lid. I'm going to take the shade I used on the brow bone, which is this kind of champagne pink kind of shade. And just apply this over the concealer. It's not picking up the best, so where's my little friend, little silicone brush? So much better. I actually love this brush so much. Just literally, so this is still dry, but I feel like it's literally just, yeah, just so it's a bit softer. So I'm gonna just go and finish my other eye quickly and then I'll be back. Okay, one is back, the eyes are finished. I actually really like this eye look. Anyway, just wanted to add something else just on the kind of a lighter section, kind of where I applied the concealer. I know everyone has talked about these, so it's not like they're an underrated brand or anything, but these are the Colourpop Super Shock Shadows, and I just think now they've become quite underrated, and I think because there's so many like palettes and stuff, and people tend to buy palettes rather than single shadows and stuff like this, I feel. And I think the Super Shock shadows are literally one of the best formulas of eyeshadows I've ever used personally. The mattes are incredible, and even like the shimmers and then shades like this that are super glittery. I'm obsessed with them, and they're so affordable on the Colourpop website. I wanted to quickly just mention this guy. So this is one of my favourite Super Shock shadows ever. It's in the shade Frog. It's just this really iridescent pinky white kind of shade, and I just want to apply some of this just over, just kind of over this, just to add a bit of glitter. You can even see any difference. I can actually, you can see like the glitter and everything in that. I've done like my tight line eyeliner because it's kind of irrelevant. With liner, I wanted to use the Rimmel Exaggerate eyeliner. This is something I use a lot, but I feel like nobody else talks about it or uses it, and I think it's a really good eyeliner. I am someone who's really bad at doing winged liner or just eyeliner in general, and I feel like this just makes it so much easier to do, and I've never had problems with this. It's just a really good one. So for underrated mascaras, I feel like this is the perfect one. So this is the Maybelline The Colossal Volume Express Mascara. Really good. I feel like it's perfect for every day as well. Two primers that I wanted to actually talk about. Obviously I'm only going to use one. So the first one is the Armani Perfect 10 Primer Serum. I've talked about this quite a bit on my channel. I've had it in favourites videos. It's one of my favourite primers even still now. It's kind of one of those really natural, healthy products for your skin. It's obviously, like it says in the name, it's Perfect 10. It has 10 really good qualities, and it does 10 different things to your skin. Like it's a primer, it's a serum, it's a moisturizer, and like a load of other things. But this keeps your makeup on so well. It's really tacky, but it doesn't feel like too sticky, if that makes sense. Like it feels moisturizing but tacky at the same time, and it really does keep your makeup on all day. I love this. But because I use that quite a lot, I didn't want to use it today. The one that I am actually going to use is by Autograph. Now I feel like this is a brand that no one talks about because, to be fair, in the UK, I don't know if this is the only place you can get it, but for us in the UK you can only get this at Marks and Spencer's, and it's like one of like the brands in like their stands is their Luminosity Radiant Skin Primer, and it's really good. It's a very good luminous primer. It's one of my favourite illuminating primers. It's not too heavy, and it doesn't like over effects illuminating one. That you can only use like a really small amount of that. It'll literally make you look like a Tin Man, that one, I feel. So foundation, again I've got two that I just wanted to mention because I was struggling to pick. The Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. This, I feel like everyone talks about this like kind of when it came out, and it was raved about for like 5 minutes and then that's it. It just went dead. It's just a really good foundation, and it's got really good coverage as well, and it's Milani. It's really affordable. But I'm going to use this one because my concealer is Milani. So just to have a bit of variety, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. This isn't underrated in my world, but I haven't heard anyone else talk about this foundation whatsoever, so I'm going to use it. They are an underrated brand, but I feel like just this foundation I don't know why people don't talk about it because it's one of my favourites. Used to blend it out with is the LA Girl blending sponge. These are so good, and that's why I'm using it in this video, because you get 2 of these. I mentioned it before, you get a double pack and they're like £10 off Beauty Bay. Like I mentioned, the concealer I am going to use is by Milani. It's their Retouch and Erase Lightening light lifting concealer. So I feel like this is a concealer that's underrated for good reason because of this. This sponge is like the worst sponge you can have on a concealer. If this was replaced with the Maybelline concealer that's got the age eraser or something I don't know, that erasing concealer by Maybelline. Anyway, if that sponge was replaced with this one, this would be one of the best concealers ever. But I hate the sponge, it absorbs so much product, but the concealer itself has amazing coverage. My under eyes, not my whole face next. This is one of my favourite powders in the entire universe. Actually no, this is my favourite powder ever. This is the Dermablend powder by Vichy. Is my favourite powder. I am literally not going to say anything else about it because I talk about it too much. I've talked about it in like my night out video that I think that I did. What I've recently been like obsessed with, it's my favourite cream contour product ever. It's the Sosu by Suzanne Jackson contour stick. I have the shade Warm. I also ordered the shade Cool because I want a more contour shade. I've been using this every single day. I haven't actually been using a powdered bronzer like this past week. I did use this I think in my last few videos. I'm going to use this one, which is also really underrated. This is the Rimmel Duo contour stick. This is the dark shade. It's really, really creamy, really easy to blend out. So for actual bronzer, I'm going to be using the No. 7 bronzer in the shade Caramel. This is a really good formula. I feel like I've talked about this bronzer on my channel before and I just really like it. It's a matte bronzer, but it's really creamy. So yeah, I do really like this. Blush, actually one of my favourite blushes ever. This is the Essence Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Bronze. This is a £1 blush and it's one of my favourites in the entire world. Essence are still so underrated and I don't know why, because their blushes are £1. They are kind of like a hit and miss brand, I'd say for sure, because some of the stuff is literally, and obviously because this is like a satin blush, it gives like a nice little sheen to the skin. I love this one, it gives me life. So we have the Lottie London Shimmer Squad highlighting palette. They are both actually palettes. I couldn't find any of like single highlighters because so this is the Lottie London Shimmer Squad highlighter palette. Like I said, it's got 4 different shades in, as you can see. It's really nice on the skin, so on the eyes these would also work. So yeah, I just like the fact that you've got a range, and for deep skin, well, dark skin, I feel like you can definitely use that. So yes, what I use today is one of my favourite highlighting things ever. This is the Pure Cosmetics highlighting palette. I've used this on my channel so many times. I'm obsessed with it. This guy is beaten and bashed. I've gone in with it so many times. For a setting spray that I think is really underrated and is actually so affordable, the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set is so good. I really like it. I feel like it's got quite a strong mist, but it's not like really crap. It's just a really good mist, to be fair. It's quite strong, but it's still a good spray. Liners I'm going to be using, well, I'm just going to be using one, but I have 2 shades. They are my favourite lip liners in the entire world. They have the best formula for me personally, and they're so affordable. So these are the LA Girl Perfect Precision lip liners. I thought I'd lost Cafe. I almost had a heart attack because it's also sold out on the Beauty Bay website, so I wanted to cry, but I found it. And then I also have Sugar and Spice, which is a more kind of deeper brownie rose. Liquid lipstick, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick, and these are the chocolate ones. They smell like pure chocolate, and this one is in the shade Sweet Tooth. I'm going to tap it out with a finger. Just to kind of like blend it into the lip liner a bit. This is it's also by L'Oreal. It's the Havanna collection with Camilla Cabello, and it's the Lip Dew, and I think it's in the shade Havanna. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, these are just really, well, this is the only one that I have. I don't know if she came out with more, but I love this one. And that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like this video, then remember to give it a thumbs up, and also let me know if you've tried any of these underrated products, or if you don't think any of these are underrated and they're actually overrated. But again, thank you so much for watching, and remember to subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!